The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The BS Report. The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report. Another cold but a little bit sunny Monday morning here in Southern California. I would have delayed this podcast by a day if the Patriots had lost that Chargers game yesterday. I'm just telling you that right now. I was getting really, really mad, and it was starting to feel like the second Giants Super Bowl all over again, where it was just like, how are we not winning this game by 10 points? And then finally they pulled it out. So now we're doing the podcast. So, Sal, I'm here. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. How you doing?
There you go. See, I knew it would turn out. And I think you were the only Pats fan in L.A. not at that game yesterday. Is that true? That was overwhelming New England presence there.
I know. I had my daughter at a soccer game, and then it was too dicey. But that seems to be a theme now in general with sports, where just the home field and home court advantage is just kind of slowly fading away. And
right.
Every game has 20,000 fans of the other team at it. But what was your impression watching that game? Did you feel like the Pats should have won that one by 20, or were the Chargers better than I thought they were?
Well, I thought the Pats second half bet was an easy one. It just had the feel that, oh boy, these special teams touchdowns and all this weird stuff, and it doesn't usually happen to the Patriots. And let's remember that they just lost last week, so they're not in F around mode. But
Right.
I think you tweeted it. Like the thing that is weird is these teams, they don't seem to realize the game is 3.5 quarters. When you're playing the Patriots, when you're playing the Seahawks, you have to go for, you don't want working backwards. You don't want to be down 2 scores with 6 minutes left or 4 minutes left. So you have to take a chance on 4th and 4 at midfield or the 40 or 4th and 5. Seattle's defense isn't going to give you that chance. New England's offense isn't going to give you that chance. Take the game when you can. And the Chargers screwed that up, I thought.
So you're talking about Mike McCoy, 4th and 4, midfield, 6:30 left, and he punts.
Yeah.
And it was like game over. It was like I started like packing up my stuff, did a little celebratory walk around. It's like, all right, well, you're not getting the ball back.
Right.
So thank you for that. But that was weird. I'm not sure Mike McCoy is a good coach.
Yeah, that's the best chance you're going to get, it seems, at that point. Although Belichick says they're a well-coached team, so you have to agree with him there.
Well, they are on their 5th center.
Right.
I just thought that was a bizarre move. By the way, Sal, have you heard about this Mike Singletary news?
What's going on? No, I didn't.
NFL.com reported he's a possible coaching candidate in 2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if that happens, I think we move to Vegas. We move our families there. You figure they'll go 2-14 against the spread?
Right. Yeah.
Is that fair? So if we're betting $2 million a game, we get a little syndicate.
Right.
I think we have, I don't know, 16, 17 million a piece in the bank by
we
week
could
16.
do that. Who would hire him? I don't understand. I'm trying to go through it in my head now real quickly. Who would, unless the Niners did it as a joke, what would happen?
It happens so rarely where enough time passes where everyone forgets how bad the coach was. The last time it really happened this violently was with Art Shell, I think in 2006, where it's just like so much time had passed, everyone forgot how bad of a coach he was.
Right.
And I'm hoping it happens here. By the way, let's go coach hot seat really quick. Jim Harbaugh?
You can't even call it a hot seat anymore. The guy wants out. He clearly wants out.
All right, so he's out. Sperano's out. Rex Ryan's out?
Yeah, I think so, but he'll make it like it'll be on his terms, and it'll seem like a sweet deal.
Tom Coughlin out?
Yeah, again, the same thing. I think he's out, though. Yeah.
Mike Smith has to win the division and keep his job.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be that hard. You have to go 0-2-1. What does he need to do? He'll be fine.
He has to go 0-4 and -1.
Yeah.
Sean Payton.
Interesting. I do think that I watched that team, and I hate to blame the coach for the Jekyll and Hyde routine that the Saints are playing, but boy, oh boy, they should not be getting blown out at home. And their offense, I don't know, like their offense should click more. Colston shouldn't be dropping passes. Jimmy Graham shouldn't be getting 3 looks a game. And Breeze, maybe he looks like he's injured. Is he injured? Has that come up yet?
Well, but he was good last week. I think he's hitting that stage where, he can still have a really good game every once in a while, but it's just not happening consistently.
Right.
So maybe it'd be interesting if Harbaugh and Sean Payton were on the market.
Don't forget Jason Garrett. Not that anyone would want him, but everyone keeps saying if they don't win the division,
right,
he's on the hot seat. It'll be hilarious when the Cowboys go 11-5. I think your Patriots were 11-5 in 2008 and didn't make the playoffs, but
yeah, with the Matt Castle season.
Yeah, this is a strong possibility.
Jay Gruden.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, anything's possible in Washington. Yeah. Wow, have you listed like 7 coaches already? That's a lot.
I wrote down all the names here. Gus Bradley on the Jags, I think is possible, and then Trestman.
Yeah.
And then the last one I would say is I think that Joe Philbin on Miami is shaky. That team should be a guaranteed playoff team. They have too much talent. It's embarrassing that they're not going to make the playoffs potentially.
It's getting to be what they talk about with the Cowboys with the December swoon. It's happening with the Dolphins now more often than not. Yeah, that's a lot.
While we're here listing things, we do the cross-offs every once in a while. So we're heading to week 15, and somehow I only have 11 cross-offs.
Oakland. You didn't play. Okay, go through them.
AFC, Oakland, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Jets. I think everyone else is still alive.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not crossing anyone else off in the AFC yet.
All right.
NFC, Tampa, Washington, Giants, Chicago, St. Louis, Minnesota, San Francisco. Got 7 on that end.
That's pretty good. Well, it's outrageous that we can only cross off Tampa in the NFC South. But yeah, you're right. I think those are them. I might say Cleveland. That was a miserable loss yesterday. I know.
Can't cross off anyone in the AFC who's better than 2 wins.
They could run the table, but that was a bad loss.
I'm shocked that San Francisco is a cross off when they're only down. They're only back 2 in the wild card. There's 3, 9, and 6 teams, and then they're so it's not inconceivable. But after watching them yesterday, they're a cross off.
Well,
I don't think they should play. I don't think they should play Kaepernick anymore. I think he's a broken man. I would just bench him.
Yeah, you might as well. And they're not going to catch anyone. They're 7-6. Even if they ran it, like we said, 10-6. You have Seattle and Detroit sitting with 9 wins, and I think it's easy 2 ahead. I think Detroit has who do they have? They have Minnesota at home. They have Chicago at home, and then they're at Green Bay. So that should be 11 before they get to Green Bay. And Seattle, I don't see them losing. Maybe even until next September.
Yeah, Seattle is the all-time classic, peaking at the right time. And Arizona has a really, really, really awful Thursday night game in St. Louis that I think they're going to lose. And once they lose that game, all of a sudden things are looking really good for Seattle. Seattle has Kaepernick at home. I don't think there's a better time ever to play the Niners over the last 5 years than this
Definitely.
week.
Should we get to that Thursday game since you mentioned it, Arizona-St. Louis?
Yeah, one last thing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Actually, no, I'll save it for when we get to those teams. Right. Let's do it. Thursday night.
Now, we picked the lines. We haven't seen them in advance. I've now looked at them after I picked. You're 8-5-1 through 14 weeks.
Which you don't even care because you've been hot on SportsCenter, so you don't even care about this game.
Really hot. I mean, it's getting weird now, Bill. 9-0 against the spread last 3 weeks, 13-2 the last 5 weeks, and everyone's like, "Where can I find your picks online?" It's like, well, ESPN doesn't put them online. They haven't put them online. They spent all their money on curling. They bought 300 hours, so I'm a casualty cut. But,
well, if we put the picks online, the video player would just stop after 20 seconds, so it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
I have Rams. Boy, I love this game. We're in the Vegas Super Contest. Mm-hmm. I've only done it one other time this year, putting in the picks before the Thursday game because I like the Thursday game so much. Mm-hmm. I think if the Rams are 3 or less in this game, this is one of the locks of the year. I love you, Arizona, but you're a different team on the road. You can't throw the ball, and you're super banged up. I have the Rams by 2.5, and I think it goes to 3 by Thursday. All
right, well, you get this. I was way off. What a way to start. I was way off with this. It's 3.5. I said +2.
Whoa.
I said Arizona would be given points. I mean, I don't know. Explain to me. Like, I'm a novice. Why is 10-3 not favored against 6-7?
Because the Cards are undefeated at home.
Right.
I think they're 7-0 at home now.
Yeah, they haven't lost, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're 4-3 on the road.
Well, I know.
3-3 on the road.
Are we a little, like the Rams beat up on a couple high school teams? Are we a little maybe too excited? Arizona beat them 31-14 the first time they played.
I think the Cards, I watched every play of that game yesterday, and they lucked out because the Chiefs can't throw the ball anyway. They lost Cromartie in the second half, and they were already out with the Honey Badger. And it just seemed like, oh, man, this is now past the tipping point. And
I agree with you, but on one hand, I see how long is this three-headed offensive monster of Drew Stanton, Kerwin Williams, and Jaron Brown going to lead them to the promised land. But on the other hand, Drew Stanton is a little Eli Manning with it in him. Like the defense keeps him in the game, and then he throws one prayer pass, and there you go. They're on the right side of the ledger again. So.
Yeah, Drew Stanton played better than about 6 quarterbacks who make a lot of money yesterday, including Andrew Luck. But they can't really score. And now if I don't know how long Cromartie's going to be out, but they just really lucked out. The Chiefs have one of the worst passing offenses I've ever seen in my life. And they have this 2-minute drill basically. Down 3, they have to move the ball in a minute, and they're throwing like 4 and 5 yard passes. Like they literally can't throw the ball 10 yards.
Well, yeah, I know. And we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. Like everyone was heralding Alex Smith, like, oh, he's doing this all without throwing a touchdown to one of his receivers. And but what happens when you're 2 minutes away and you can't throw more than an 8-yard pass? You know, well, Dwayne Bowe's your guy. Hasn't had a big play in years.
I think the Cards are in real trouble.
Yeah. And
I've been on the bandwagon the whole year, but they had 14 points in week 11, 3 in week 12, 18 in week 13. And one of those was a garbage time touchdown, and then 17 this last week. Now they're going at St. Louis, home for Seattle, whose defense has suddenly turned into the 85 Bears.
Right.
And then at San Fran in week 17, which you should feel pretty good about that game if you're the Cards. But they go 1-2.
But I think that gets them in 1-2. So I've studied this all night because I could see the Cowboys getting left out. And 1-2 gets them to 10-6. Tied at least with Detroit, I would think, right?
No, doesn't 1-2 gets them to 11-5?
11-5. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good enough.
Well, but you guys, you're playing Philly, and it's pretty clear now. If you're up by 7 over Sanchez in the second half, the game's over.
Right.
And then you have Indianapolis at home.
That's, of course, what I was looking at. Can we lose to Philly and then win the last 2, Indy at home, and then at Washington, who should be
well, that's the thing. You have the easiest game of the rest of you can't ask for anything better than Week 17 at Washington. That team is a catastrophe. Mm-hmm. So you have to win this week. You just can't give Philly a lead. You have to make Sanchez play from behind in the second half, and you'll be fine.
I know. We could do it. Let's do it. Put our hands in the middle. Let's do it. Now, we can't pressure the quarterback, though, unlike Seattle. Like they don't get tripped up by that quick change of pace stuff at the line of scrimmage because they play like straight up, simple defensive schemes, and they don't blow coverage ever. So, and then you're looking across the line, you're like, oh, well, everything else equal, I'm going against Mark Sanchez. That's fine. But if you can't pressure the quarterback and Cowboys have trouble, then it's rough. But
all right, Rams by 3.5. Let's go to
Sunday. All right, Sunday. 9 early games. Houston at Indianapolis.
I'm not on board with the J.J. Watt MVP stuff yet.
Not yet.
But if he single-handedly wins this Colts game, I'll be on board.
Right.
And I think this Colts team is super vulnerable. They should have lost yesterday. You watched that game. I know you're a closet Browns fan.
Yeah.
What a horrible loss that was. I mean, probably not one of the 50 worst Cleveland losses ever.
No.
But man, I don't know how they lost that game.
They lost it 10 times. I mean, Cundiff missed a big field goal. A terrible roughing the quarterback call on a sack. Like just on a sack, it was called. Like he shoved him, and I think it was Kruger looked him in the eyes at the same time, and he gets flagged, and that was 3rd and long. That was bad. And then that Heron triple effort on 4th and inches, we were stopped in the backfield. That was bad with under a minute left. And then comical overthrows by Hoyer to that Gabriel guy. It was open by 15. He could have been called for grounding. It was that bad of an overthrow. It's really bad.
Hoyer and Orton both missed a lot of throws. Those were like I feel like the Bills could have. I know it was 24-3 at one point, but those teams were not far apart. The Bills and the Broncos, and Orton just kept missing guys. And then I don't know. I feel like Josh Gordon should have made that play. I agreed with the announcers that bomb. It's like if you're one of the best 5 receivers in the league and your QB throws a deep ball like that and you can get your hands on it, I feel like you got to pull that in.
Yeah, and he dropped the ball over the middle that they reviewed. It was initially called a catch, and I kind of, you traded him to me. I kind of feel like you traded me damaged goods, and we're supposed to be friends in fantasy.
You proposed the trade.
I know, but you should stop me there and say, hey, I don't want to screw you over here, pal, but Josh Gordon's going to dog it the last couple weeks.
He doesn't seem like he's bringing his A game.
I don't even think. Well, the thing is that he's supposed to not be in shape. Everyone's making that excuse for him. It's like, well, this really should be his 3rd preseason game. Like, no, it shouldn't. He had nothing to do. Like, just get in shape all year, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But what do you have for lines? Houston at Indy.
Houston at Indy. I have the Colts by 7.5. I like Houston.
All right, we're going to split this. I said 6.5, and it is 7. And Andrew the Giant Luck, your opponent attempts to exact revenge from that Thursday night win a few weeks back. Rematch takes place at the War Memorial in Rochester, New York. Your thoughts?
Well, thanks to my guys for really pulling through for me yesterday. I had a terrible game. I tried to give that game away in a lot of different ways, and my team just picked me up and lifted me, and I owe them one in this game. I'll tell you that much.
Another candid response from Andrew the Giant Luck, and we wish you the best of luck.
T.Y. Hilton gets wide open 5 times a game, and I can't figure it out.
I know.
It's like he's their 4th receiver. And it's like, we forgot it. Like, but he's their number 1 receiver. How do you get open by 20 yards?
Right.
What is he up to? What's he doing?
I know. I don't get it either. And then he catches and makes a nice move. He scores. This is a good game. This was a Thursday night game. Like Indy got off to a crazy lead and end up held on like 33-28 or something.
I think the Colts are smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
They can't run the ball at all. And you could move the ball on them, and Luck will make 3 bad passes per game. I really like Luck, but
now they won't get a bye, right? No. No, Denver's. They're not going to make a game up on Denver.
No, but they're really interesting. I think the 5th or the 6th seed could beat them in Indy.
Sure. Yeah, Baltimore and Indy right now wins, and I don't know.
I was going to ask you, out of all the wild card teams, who would you feel the best about betting on the road? I feel like Baltimore would be my pick.
In the AFC or all of them? All the
just the AFC wild cards.
Yeah, you're not counting. Okay. Yeah, Baltimore. Although what San Diego did at Cincinnati last year is pretty great, so they have the history there.
The thing with Baltimore is their secondary is so awful. It didn't come back to haunt them against Miami because Miami doesn't really throw the ball that well.
Right.
But if they went into Indianapolis, I think I'd actually like Luck in that game. I feel like he'd throw for like 400 yards.
Here we go crazy. Well, I might have said Miami, but they kind of blew it. They kind of,
There's a coaching issue with them. I think Miami and Atlanta are the 2 teams that should have 2 or 3 more wins than they actually should, right?
Yeah, probably. All right, Green Bay at Buffalo. I hit this one exactly.
Packers by 7.5?
No, I said 7. Probably get to 7.5, but Buffalo played well. They played the Broncos well. They hung tough.
Yeah, I like this Bills team. Their defense is really good.
We talked about them being like the Pernell Whitaker. They just make you look bad offensively. Maybe their record isn't going to be spectacular at the end of the year, but it's hard to do a lot with them.
That's the team. Everybody now thinks the Pats are. This is it now. Now they can coast and whatever. But I'm a little worried about that Week 17 Buffalo game.
No, for this year.
Yeah, I'm a tiny bit, just a tad worried about that one. I think Buffalo's D is good.
Well, you think you need it? 12-3. If you beat Miami at home, which you should,
we have the same
Jets.
record as Denver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, you will need it, I guess.
We'll need it unless Denver loses. But the way Denver's been playing, I do think somebody can beat them.
That's San Diego at Cincinnati for Denver. They're not done yet.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Oh, God. How dare Carolina mess up my head with that Saints game? I had the Panthers by 4.5. I'm low. I'm too low.
I said 5.5. You are a little low. It's 6.
I just couldn't go higher than 4.5 with the Panthers. They're so terrible. They haven't won in 62 days.
I know. Tampa clinches with a win, right? I can't keep track of this. By the way, this is what set our season in a tailspin. The first game of the year, Tampa, Carolina. We love Tampa, right? And Carolina won 20-14.
Tampa.
We both love them.
What would be your favorite home for Mariota out of the 5?
Oh, you like Tampa, right? I like him to be a Raider, but it's not going to happen. Derek Carr. I don't know. It seems like all these teams have quarterbacks. You say Tampa Bay?
I mean, it would be the most interesting. I don't know if Lovie Smith is the coach I would pick for him.
Yeah.
But
it might be a good fit because he's already used to the ridiculous uniform. So
the Jets would be the most fun.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that one.
For sure.
And then Tennessee probably needs him the most.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the 5. But I don't know. If you're him, it's like 5 unappealing candidates.
No,
right?
It's not good.
It's like, oh, great. I get to go to Tennessee, Jacksonville, Tampa, the Jets, or the Raiders. Oh, awesome.
It should be easy for us. There should be some easy bets coming up with those 5 teams you mentioned. There should be some tank. Like the Raiders, they played hard. Some teams play with pride after they lose 52-0. That's what we saw yesterday. And the Niners sucked. But yeah, some of these other teams are laying down. Jacksonville, Tampa Bay. Who else quit on their coach?
See, I don't know if Jacksonville's laying down. I think Bortles might be really, really atrocious.
Yeah.
He can't do anything. They don't know what to do with him.
He gets his team in a hole too late. He really does.
If I'm Mariota, I think I pull a 2004 Eli Manning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I don't go to any of those 5. I try to pick my team. I say I want to go to the Bears or the Giants.
Yeah.
Right? Just
as long as you don't pull a 2012 Eli Manning, you're in good shape. Back to Carolina for a second. I like reading Peter King, but to go out on a limb and say Carolina is the best team in the NFC South. Can we pretend to stop thinking we know who's the best team in the NFC South? Let's just let it play out for a second. Carolina got smoked. They couldn't even punt the ball against Minnesota last week. Saints go to Pittsburgh and win big, and Atlanta beats Arizona at home, and now they're going to get probably killed tonight. So let's just watch for a minute and hang our heads in shame when a 6-8-1 team wins or whatever it is. 6-9.
Yeah, the NFC South, it's almost like having kids where you're like, oh, this kid was the best today, and then the next day another kid is the best kid, and the kid you thought was the best kid just had a complete meltdown in the airport or whatever.
Right.
There's no way to predict anything.
None of them should get Christmas gifts.
Right.
No.
All these teams suck, and you should leave them with a babysitter.
Right. Cincinnati at Cleveland.
This is a great spot for the Browns.
Yep. Oh, how big would this game would have been? Huge if they had pulled it out yesterday.
It was a great crowd too. There was a point in that game where it's you just felt like, oh, this is great. What a great win for the Browns. I'm really happy for their fans. And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, defense not in shape.
What's wrong? Is Dalton healthy? What's his deal?
I think so. Why? Did something happen yesterday?
Well, he came out at one point.
Oh, right. He came back on Campbell. Yeah, right.
God, Jason Campbell. Ooh.
I think he's fine. And this is a revenge game from the Thursday night. A lot of these matchups are rematches from Thursday night. 24-3, Cleveland won in Cincinnati. So
that was an ass kicking. I have the Browns by 1.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I had Cincy by 3.5. It's Cincy by 2.
Oh, I disagree with that line.
Yeah.
I vehemently disagree with that line. That's really dumb.
I think it's a stay away. I think both these teams I think it's a last drive game.
Do we see Johnny Clipboard in this game?
Well, 14 for 31, 140 yards, 2 interceptions, and like we said, overthrows that are preposterous. You may want to put him in there.
Put it this way: if I'm the Bengals, I hope they play Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, let's hope they don't have the ball.
That's kind of how a lot of this should go, right? All right, who do the Bengals fans want? They want Brian Hoyer in there. Who do the Patriots? What do the Patriots want the Chargers to do at 4th and 4 from the 40? Oh, they want them to punt, right?
Please punt us. Yeah, please.
That's how it goes.
By all means.
Pittsburgh at Atlanta.
Well, it's interesting because we don't know what's going to happen with Atlanta tonight, and
We do.
well, who knows? That might be a shootout. Like, I don't know that's the one team in that division that I feel like could at least throw the ball and do some stuff. But
They have no pass rush, though. Like, I think their leading
defense.
sacker gets 2 sacks.
Rodgers might complete every pass tonight.
Yeah.
He might go 38 for 38.
Yep.
I have the Steelers by 1.5.
All right. Well, I'm getting these. I said 2.5, and it's 3.
That's a lot of respect for
It might come down if Atlanta plays well. And I was about to dismiss Pittsburgh as a fantasy phony team, and now they control their own destiny in the North. It's weird.
That's a fraudulent team. Steelers. I
Both
don't
of
trust
them.
that team. That team's too up and down.
What do you do? Well, I guess Atlanta beat Arizona at home. I guess they could, they can hold them off. That Le'Veon Bell, though, is just it's like 3 runs in. He has 120. It's weird.
Is he the most exciting running back right now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Too bad they're running him into the ground.
I think Jonas Gray's pretty exciting. It's exciting to see if they ever put him in. Like, if he ever gets a carry.
How about Roethlisberger this year? 4,055 yards.
Wow.
29 TDs, 8 interceptions.
Wow. Yeah.
103 QB rating. And also 31 sacks, 8th in the league.
He has 31 sacks. He should be the MVP if he sacked 31 quarterbacks himself.
Jesus.
No, that's wow. He's gonna have 5,000 yards maybe.
I don't know if I can't remember. I'm gonna look this up as we're talking, but I don't ever remember him throwing for 5,000 yards. Like for a cold weather QB to throw for 5,000 yards.
No,
he's
I don't
never
think he has.
He's never thrown for 4,400 yards.
Wow.
And he's never thrown for 33 TDs. So yeah,
very underrated year. It's gonna seem like he had 3 big games, but that's not the case.
The throw to Wheaton was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I Tom Brady misses that throw 10 times a year, and it drives me crazy. It's the flaw in his ointment. But Roethlisberger, that was perfect.
I've been watching since you said that. The best kept secret is that the Patriots don't throw downfield, and I'm just an idiot that jumps on a podcast with you. It's true. You don't throw a 15-yard pass, Brady. Like how do the defensive coordinators not combat this? I know easier said than done, but how many slants to Edelman are we going to see? And it works over and over and over.
The best play ever, and the play that I know, and I'm sure the other Pats fans know, when you see it, you're like, like I almost like pass out, like all the blood rushes in my head. When they split Gronk out to wide, and it's just against a cornerback, and it's just 1-on-1 basically.
Yeah.
I literally have to stand up because they're going to throw to him every time.
Right.
And he's got 6 inches on whoever. He just overpower and beat the guy in a variety of ways. It's like if I'm the defense and I see that happening, I either call a timeout or I just send a second guy over there.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's going to be a 20-yard play.
Double teaming a tight end split out wide would be phenomenal.
He's a beast.
Yeah. Jacksonville at Baltimore.
Oh. That's a great game for the Ravens. I have the Ravens by 13.
Yeah, you get this. I went light on this. I said 11.5. It's 14. 2 touchdowns.
That's a nice game for the Ravens.
Nice game for the Ravens. Nice game for them. Not being out and the down 10 on the road. Maybe got the benefit from the tuck rule, which was supposedly outlawed, but good solid win either way yesterday.
So they have Jags at Houston, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like 11-5 because
How
none
do
of
you
those
think
teams.
so?
Well, none of those teams are going to be able to throw on them. Their Achilles heel is the secondary, and who's going to throw on them out of those 3 teams? Maybe Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
So
well,
maybe
11-5 wins that division, I would say.
So they win Jacksonville. I think they beat Cleveland at home, and unless Fitzpatrick has a huge game against them.
Yeah. I think 11-5. You don't even have to break a tie. You win that division.
So Houston goes at Indianapolis, home for Baltimore, and then home for Jacksonville. They can get to 10-6 pretty easily.
I was looking at theirs. Yeah.
But they would have the tiebreaker over the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Bengals. And
well, the problem is if you're
screwed.
tied with a couple of 10-6s, it doesn't even matter about head-to-head, as I'm finding out with the Cowboys, Seahawks, and Lions. Like Cowboys beat the Seahawks, but it doesn't matter because they don't break a tie with Seattle and Detroit. So it all gets sketchy. All right, Redskins at Giants.
I hate the Giants. I'm just so wrong on them week after week. I just hate their guts.
No, I hate them. If I'm right or wrong, I hate them.
Right,
and no one does more over-celebrating than the Giants after a pathetic performance.
Right. I thought they were tanking the season after the Week 13 loss, and then they come in and they just destroyed Tennessee. So now I hate their guts. I had the Giants by 6.
Yeah, you'll get it. I said 4.5. I don't know why, and it's 7. So
the Skins have given up on the year.
They beat Washington 45-14 earlier. And let's go to your game, Miami at New England.
Hey, let's be the only media people not to say horrible things about RG3.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I feel like now it's just everybody has to just pile on and say terrible things about him, make him seem like he's.
Yeah, I think it is a little too much. What do you think of Fisher's thing, bringing all the Rams they got for him in the trade out to for the coin flip?
I enjoyed it. It was a great idea.
I thought we weren't going to be mean to RG3.
Yeah, it was a good idea. They stuck it to him a little bit. Because to me, it's like you're sticking it to Dan Snyder.
I guess
and I support all sticking to Dan Snyder.
Right. I love it. All right, Miami at New England. You want to put this on a teaser. You know you do.
Pats by 9.
All right, we're going to split this. I said 7, and it's 8.
Very fair. I think that climbs to 9.5 by game time.
I
don't think it gets to 10.
But you're not going to screw around here because you lost 33-20 to the Dolphins in the opener, and I don't think this is a game Miami sneaks up on you.
I tweeted this last night. I'm going to say it again here.
Mm-hmm.
When Tom Brady's doing the fist pump F-bomb thing, it just melts my heart.
Good.
Because I thought that guy was long gone. I thought he'd become too cool for school. All his commercials, worrying about his hair. I want to see football quarterback Tom Brady, and that's who he is. That's the guy who won the 3 Super Bowls.
Right. All right. But then 20 minutes later, he blew a kiss to his wife on television. So,
I don't want to talk about it. No? I don't want to talk about that.
Your quarterback blows kisses to his wife on television, and your tight end hangs out with Bieber. You need to call a meeting.
I feel like Brady is trolling the city of Boston sometimes. It's just there's no worse city to be that guy. Yeah.
Got to be kidding. All right, Oakland at Kansas City.
By the way, what was your take on the Brandon Browner call?
Which one was that? With
the helmet to helmet where we scored the touchdown that would have clinched the game and then called it back?
Yeah, the officiating is just bad, I think, in general. I don't know. It's like kind of falling apart. You didn't like it, right?
Well, it could have cost us the game, so no.
Yeah.
I thought it was a totally fair hit, and I don't know. We've reached a point where, like, he's going to hit the guy, and the guy's just standing upright, trying to search for the ball, and it's like, what's Browner supposed to do? Like, bend his head to the left 90 degrees to, like, not – and he didn't even hit him in the head. My thing is, I don't know why it's not reviewable.
Everything should be reviewable.
Everything should be – and Belichick says that every year in the coaches thing, apparently, but – helmet to helmet should be reviewable.
Of course.
I should be able to throw a flag and be like, all right, was it really a helmet to helmet? Because we've seen this now, I'm going to say 8 times I've personally witnessed a helmet to helmet call that actually wasn't helmet to helmet.
Right.
And you shouldn't lose 15 yards for that. And a lot of the times it's a big play and it's a sack or a fumble or whatever. And it's just I don't know. They're not getting stuff right. Like, this
it's
is
just bad because the
matter.
referees are under the directive, like, okay, we have to make this game safe, and we can't award helmet to helmet or anything that looks like helmet to helmet. And then as far as reviewing calls go, they don't want to embarrass the officials in these judgment calls. But, if they say, all right, look, we're trying to make the game safe, it's so fast, we're going to take a look at these anyway, and don't hold it against us if we got it wrong, because these are bang bang, and we have a knife to our back right now. So yeah, just be able to review it, review everything. I think I think Chris Berman actually said something about this yesterday, but I think do the pass interference. It shouldn't be 40 yards if the ball is way overthrown or way underthrown. You know, like how come there's running into the kicker and roughing the kicker? How come they can make that judgment call and not say this is a 10-yard pass interference call and this is a 40-yard pass interference call? Just make that distinction.
Another thing I hated yesterday, they called Kruger for roughing the passer on Luck.
Yeah.
It was a terrible call. He came flying in, and when you're a defensive end like that, you have to stay a little bit upright because if the guy's going to throw, you want to be able to tip it.
Yeah, he shoved him. His head was in his face, and he shoved him.
Luck just froze. So at that point, he's like, "Great, I'm going to hit you then."
Right.
And he hits him, and it was a huge play. And they called it, they called the rough and the passer, but it was like
3rd and long. They got a field goal after that.
Yeah, it was just I hated that, and it's like you got to let these guys hit the quarterback, especially if they're just going to freeze there and stand upright.
There's a bunch of that going on. I know. It's bad news. Oakland at Kansas City.
Speaking of calls, it was great. Mike Pereira just a 5-minute soliloquy about how that Cards Chiefs call can't get overturned. Yeah,
the fumble? Kelsey's fumble? Yeah.
I don't see conclusive evidence, and then it's like, the call has been overturned.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, Mike Pereira.
That might have cost the Chiefs a playoff spot, too.
Yeah, but, my friend Connor was saying that. He's a huge Chiefs fan. It's like, what's going to cost you a playoff spot? The fact that you can't throw more than 5 yards downfield.
Definitely.
Just own it. You guys can't throw the ball. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Right. But unfortunately, his one touchdown pass had to get called back because of a weird pass interference call.
Right.
I know. But that's what the replay is all because of the Testaverde thing at the 1, and everyone said, well, we don't want to cost the team a playoff berth, and it's almost exactly what this replay is doing.
Yeah.
Oakland at Kansas City.
The frisky Raiders at KC. I had the Chiefs by 10.
You get this. It's 10.5. I said 12. So after we are tied, deadlock 6-6, including ties after the early games. Yeah, the Chiefs really should be up for this after blowing a game Thursday night to the Raiders.
Hey, dog. I kind of like the Raiders.
Oh, boy, Mike, this is a tough spot. Tough spot.
Beat them before. Chiefs can't throw the ball, dog. Can't throw it.
Mike, you had too much Diet Coke, I think. It's infiltrating your brain, Mike. The Chiefs, the Raiders, they won the Super Bowl. They beat the Niners last week. They don't need this.
They cannot throw the football. They cannot throw it. They can't throw it, though. Can't throw the ball.
Those two have to come back.
There's two teams that it would be totally characteristic of all the things that are wrong with both franchises for them to win this week. One is the Raiders in Kansas City, and the other is the Jets at the Titans.
So they'd screw their draft picks, you're saying?
Yeah, that'd be the jetsiest move.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to win yesterday, which would have been the jetsiest move. And I have a couple of Jets friends who were just freaking out during that game. Like, really, we're gonna win this, really?
Gino spotted them the pick six and everything. What more do they want?
I know, it was textbook.
That was a miraculous cover by the Vikings, who were given 6 all week. They were laying 6 points, and then it went down to 4.5 on Sunday for some reason, and they went by 6 in overtime. So let's do that game. Jets at Tennessee.
I had the Titans by 2.
All right, who gets this? You do. I said Titans by 3. It's a pick 'em.
Great. If you watch this game, you hate yourself.
Yeah, it's really bad.
This is the worst matchup of the year.
Mettenberger out with injury, or they're just taking him out. I don't know.
Jake Locker, the one last terrible Jake Locker start against one of the last terrible Geno Smith starts.
Really bad. Tennessee might be the worst team. They might just be the worst.
I don't understand why there aren't more good quarterbacks. I don't understand how we can't get to like 25 good quarterbacks.
I know you say that.
Quarterbacks don't get hurt anymore. Like, only Sam Bradford gets hurt anymore.
No, yeah. That's true. And you just jinxed your Patriots and Tom Brady by saying that, but I know what you mean.
Tom Brady's a rock. He's an F-bomb throwing, sideline stomping rock.
I love you. You're in Costa Rica. Kidding me. Denver at San Diego.
I can't believe he did that. If I ever do anything like that on national TV, just shoot me.
Right.
Denver at San Diego.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. I had I had put this in the Vegas zone. I got the Broncos by 4.5.
All right. Well, I hit it exactly, and it was exactly what the Patriots were giving the Chargers yesterday. 4 is the number right now.
Yeah.
35-21. Denver won the first meeting.
Well, are they going to find Keenan Allen's body on Revis Island before Sunday's game or no?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
They're dragging the water looking for it.
Wow, what happened there? He's quietly the biggest disappointment, probably Keenan Allen. If you don't count Peterson and all these guys.
No, Peterson's one.
All right, I know.
I think getting one game out of Peterson has to be up there.
No, I know. At a guys who play every week.
What about Jimmy Graham?
Yeah.
Or what about the Thomas brothers in Denver who carried people for the first 10 weeks of the season?
Who knew
the double no-show yesterday.
Yeah. Speaking
this
of,
is why fantasy football is stupid.
Speaking of, it really is stupid. I mean, I played against C. Johnson yesterday in my quarterfinal game on Minnesota, and he lit it up. Here's a guy who averages 1.5 catches the first 12 weeks, and the guy put C. Johnson. I think it's Charles Johnson. It's not Calvin, that's for sure. The Vikings.
I think you should call it C. Johnson.
C. Johnson.
Just make it ambiguous. Yeah, C. Johnson.
It's just C. Johnson. And I think like if you get to the playoffs and your third wide receiver is C. Johnson, you should just get a 0. You should be like, all right, I tried. It's 13 weeks in. I couldn't fill that spot, so I'm taking a 0 for that.
Who even thinks to pick up C. Johnson?
I don't know.
So
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you're winning. You beat the henchman.
No, I won. I did a lot of complaining because Charles and Lynch went off. But, yeah, C. Johnson was driving me crazy for a while.
I'm just excited I don't have to pay for the Shakey's banquet.
That was nice. You
that was
dug
big.
your way out of last place.
I did. 4
now I'm going
wins.
against John Hamm's team, who has Manning after his touchdown streak is broken. That's exciting. That should be all right for me. San Francisco at Seattle.
Oh. God, I think this has to be close to double digits. I don't see who would take the Niners getting 7 or say even 7.5. I'm going to say Seahawks by 9.
All right. Well, you just edged me out. I said 8.5. Same reasoning. It's 10, and I almost think they can't make this high enough. I would almost like San Francisco in this spot, but they're so done.
It's funny. I was saying in September. Allow me to toot my own horn for a second. I was trying to figure out who was going to have the year from hell between the Niners and the Saints. Mm-hmm. Both of them just had that kind of feel to them, and I think it's turned out both of them have had the year from hell.
Yeah.
Right? The Niners are officially, this is the season from hell, I think.
Definitely. The first time in 3 years, they're a 7+ dog.
So Pats, Seahawks, and then who's the third team in the T's? The Ravens?
Well, yeah. Don't they just win that?
I'm not letting you put the Chiefs in the T's. You
really
don't get to put the Chiefs in
know.
there. No.
All right, then the Ravens. Warm weather coming to Baltimore. They don't ever really look great 2 weeks in a row, but I guess no one does. Why don't we just put it all in Seattle? I mean, they won 19-3 on Thanksgiving, and they've only looked better, and San Francisco's looked much worse since that, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Russell Wilson and I have been texting each other.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, it's still a little awkward.
Oh, all right. Maybe.
Yeah, it's just, we're on good terms.
Maybe you'll throw a few back and give me a ring next week.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Minnesota at Detroit. Come on, Minnesota. Pull this out.
Yeah, the Lions. The Lions looked like they were falling apart and then just hit this sweet spot of the schedule. I got the Lions by 10.5.
You went too high. I said 9, and it's 7.5.
Oh, wow.
That's a scary teaser game. Maybe think twice before you go there.
The Vikings have been good for almost 2 months now. Not good, but they've been respectable. You
don't want to incur the wrath of C. Johnson, whoever that is.
C. Johnson is fired up for this game.
All right, and then Sunday night, Dallas at Philly.
Oh, I think this is a no-brainer. Eagles by 3.
We're going to split it because it's 3.5, and I said 4.
That's stupid. This is a 3-point line.
By the way, it'll be a month since the Cowboys had a normal 1 o'clock Sunday game. They started in London, and then they had the Thanksgiving game, and then the Bears game on Thursday night, and now this is a Sunday night game. So I feel like the league is using the Cowboys to get forward. We're being used right now.
How many night games is this now?
Is this 4 night games? Let's see. New Orleans, Philadelphia, the Giants, and Chicago. It's at least 4, and then Thanksgiving, and then London. Or
so
Thanksgiving
this is Yeah, I have this as your 6th night game. Plus, you played in London.
Yeah.
That's ludicrous.
Come on, that's too much.
I thought Goodell took care of his buddies.
Yeah.
This is not a case of taking care of his buddy.
I hate this game. Just play it on a regular afternoon. Enough. Another team.
Can I make you feel better for a second?
Yeah, please.
Their quarterback is Mark Sanchez.
I know, and that's what's going to be worse, and we can't pull out the win.
Just keep saying that to yourself. All right, Sunday night.
Maybe Sean Lee will come back.
The worst Monday night game in a while.
Well, and another team that's playing too much at night, the Chicago Bears. How many times have we seen them? 4 times?
True. I think I've had my fill of Jay Cutler conversations.
Yeah, enough.
Oh, man. I have no idea what this line is, so I'm going to say...
Let me count this up, make sure it's even mattered. You have 9. I have 9, but you're going to get it because I was off. I don't even know if I should tell you how much I was off because that might tip it.
I have this Saints by 1.
All right. You're going to get this. I had Chicago by 1, and it's Saints by 3.
Oh.
So you win the week, Bill Simmons. 9-5-1 after 15 weeks. Damn.
I guess that's a fair line because the Bears are embarrassing, but the Saints outdoors on a Monday night.
Yeah, God. I know. And I would have said no way, but they beat Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago or last week, and Brandon Marshall out. Brandon Marshall's got to be out for a while, right?
I'm not allowing anyone to bet on that game. If you're listening out there, you're not allowed to bet on that game.
Yeah, forget that it's on a Monday. Just whatever you lost or whatever you won, you'll get it back the next week.
Yeah. All right, plug some stuff.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, Aaron Paul, and Kristen Ritter on tonight. They used to date on TV, remember? Later in the week, Kathy Griffin, Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit, Marissa Tomei, Smashing Pumpkins, Blake Shelton, Laura Dern, Grantland, Thursday, my prop blog on the afternoon, and Sports Center. I don't even know what to say anymore. 9-0 against the spread, 9-3 with my best bets against the spread, late Thursday night, early Friday morning, East Coast.
You are red hot. Good job by you.
Good job by you, Billy.
All right, we're going to call my dad, but he's unavailable. Could not get a hold of him. He's retired. What could he be doing? He's probably at the movies. Well, we tried. That's it for the BS Report. Come back tomorrow with Zach Lowe and Jacko. Tuesday, late morning. Get ready for that one. Until then.
Target percent off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.